I'm Khalif Dinkins, a teaching artist and visual artist with ConTextos. I know we're long overdue for a celebration, so thank you for joining us as we start with the story. I wish we could be in person, but I'm glad you're joining us through screen. I hope you're safe. Grab a drink and maybe some dinner to join us as we head to Circle. We want you to share with us how you're feeling. So if you're feeling an author story, share that in the comments. And if you get inspired to write or create, share with us what that is. If you have any questions, we definitely got answers, so ask away. Also, when you register, you should have received a digital cocktail recipe card featuring custom cocktails crafted by our very own team. After all, this is a mixer, and what's a celebration without a good drink? Snap a photo of your friends, your family, and share with us on social media. How do you do that? Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ConTextosShy, and use the hashtag #BecomingVisible. Start with and the story. Another cool part is, as a part of the experience, you can text to donate. All you have to do is text SWAS to the number you see on screen.
Hello, authors and artists, and hello, audience. Thank you for joining us. If you've ever been to any of our celebrations and publications before, you know how much we love to celebrate. You know that we love to eat together and drink together. And while we're sorry we can't do that in person, we're glad you're doing that with us from your couch. Tonight we're calling Start with a Story. We know that this has been an unprecedented time. That's why we're doing this like this. It's been hard, of course, the pandemic, and in Chicago, the growing violence. And we find ourselves all looking around asking, like, what is happening and why has this happened and what can we do for a solution? And here at ConTextos, we always say that if you want to understand and deepen your understanding, you should start with a story. Start with the story. So tonight we're inviting you into a circle. We have authors and artists from all over the city, from all of the institutions that we work with. A lot of times people think in ConTextos that our work ends with publishing and the moment where our authors and artists present their work to an audience. But the truth is, publishing is just the beginning for us, because that's the point when the people we work with recognize the power of their story. And the rest of the world recognizes the power of their strength and resilience. So tonight we're excited to have you with us while we do what we do best, which is Author Circle. Let's get started with one of our most classic Author Circle greetings. Introduce yourself, say your name, what circle you come from, and the title of what you've written. I know some of you have written more than once. And then let's look at our Author Circle values. Choose one that most resonates with you. What stands out? What reminds you most of your experience with ConTextos, and why?
I'll go. So my name is Tim. I'm from the ConTextos circle that they had with Chicago Cred in 2017, and yeah, it was a great experience. One thing I say about ConTextos is like it's a space that allows people to be brave. Like, I seen people open up about deep stories that they probably wouldn't have shared amongst people regularly, and it made them like be a little vulnerable and break the ice with people. So yeah. Anybody? So I'll go this way.
Got it. All right, my name is Khalil Warner. I'm at ConTextos in Roseland, the Author Circle in Roseland. A value that stands out to me is collaboration. This value stands out to me because during the circle, we had to network with a lot of different people, and still doing today, I had to meet new people all the time, and collaboration is a key value to me.
My name is Khalif. I'm a teaching artist, and I also was included in the Inglewood STEM Circle with ConTextos. I'd probably say the Author Circle value that sticks out to me the most is probably stop, think, and feel. Mainly probably because I don't do it as much, and I've been working to do that. Oftentimes I feel like I'm on autopilot, and I don't take the time out to just reflect and just think about my place, you know, whether it's that day, if I'm where I want to be in my life at that moment. But going through ConTextos and being able to meet other people and hear their stories has allowed me to reflect on my own and figure out where I want my life to go and where I'm at.
Hell yeah. My name's Dion. I'm a graphic designer with ConTextos. One core value that really sticks out to me is be brave. I feel like bravery itself is a subconscious helping hand for others to embrace every other core value out there.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm Zay. first ConTextos author and resident, and what resonates with ConTextos the most is embracing your truth, because in these stories that we write and that we facilitate, most of these authors and different programs that we work with, everybody has their own truth in their story, and that, that defines who they truly are, because only you know who you truly are. So by you embracing your truth, somebody else might like your truth, or might rub off to your truth, or might be able to adapt or connect to your truth. So embracing your truth is the biggest thing here.
I'm Dave. I was in the Cook County Circle. I think the value that best represents ConTextos is collaborate, because it's a lot of collaboration between different people, different backgrounds, everything else. And people collaborate to help you write your story, and pretty much an impossible place to get it done, they get it done.
I'm Deborah. I'm the founder and executive director of ConTextos, and the value that stands out to me always is expand your comfort zone. I have seen not only myself, of course, but just authors and artists, what they thought that they were capable of and what they do now. I mean, I think, Tim, Khalil, so many of you I've known for years, and you're just in such a different space, and it's amazing to see.
What's up, everyone? My name is Johnny, and I'm the co-director of programs and partnerships for ConTextos. I also facilitate circles. One of the greatest values that I think represents ConTextos is offering support, because in the circle we support one another, and that's how our stories get told, that's how our stories get shared. But also, when the circle ends, the support doesn't stop. So I think the greatest value is offer support.
All right. Hi, my name is Jonathan, and I was a part of ConTextos through Cook County Department of Corrections author circle, and the value that most represents ConTextos to me is expand your comfort zone. And that is because I'm able to express my feelings and cope with situations that I've been through better by sharing them with other people and getting feedback.
Yeah. So let's jump in. So to get us started today, I have a short excerpt from a book. You all have it in your hands. Johnny, do you mind reading it out loud for us?
The Art of Memoir by Mary Carr. No matter how self-aware you are, memoir wrenches at your insides, precisely because it makes you battle with your very self, your neat analysis and tidy excuses. One joke in my family is, the trouble started when you hit me back. In terms of cathartic effect, memoirs like therapy.
So that's just what we do in ConTextos, right? I mean, in Author Circle, we talk about memoirs. And then during COVID, as we've really embraced the visual arts as well, we think about the paintings like these around us as visual memoirs. So how does this resonate to you about the work, the experience that you've had with ConTextos, and why does it matter?
All right, so I feel like this work matters because it's necessary and it's something that we all need, and it provides us an outlet to be more expressive, to let our guards down, to be vulnerable, to let people know that we do feel, although we are men and we kind of taught to not use our feelings as much as we, coming up. So that's why this matters, and that's why it's important, because it let people know, like, it's okay. Like, I was listening to the Donda album, and of an artist by the name of Worry, he said it's okay not to feel okay. You get what I'm saying? So that's what this is for to me.
I agree with Tim, because we do need this type of work and like this type of help, because it's another way for us to find like a different outlet, because it's hard for young African American males or males in general to find like an outlet where you can show another form of self opposed to what the average norm is or what people view you as, because it's like from your outside mask compared to your inside mask, it's not the same people. Like your outside mask, you could be like engaged and all that, but inside you could really be like, I don't know if I really want to do this for real. But or it could be reversed. Your outside mask could be like, I don't really want to do this. I'm cool on it. But on your inside mask, you're like, nah, I probably do need this help, low key though. But I'm so used to just being for self or worrying about self or only caring for self. So
Yep, been there.
people try to look past that help, instead of offering or asking for that help, and they bring that to the table for a lot of people, far as like whether they in a program or whether they locked up, they don't discriminate, and by them not discriminating, it's open up doors and up to in people's eyes to far as seeing like, okay, maybe maybe it's the reason why certain things is how they is, and these young men did this and that because of what, you know, the norm was or what society depicted like them to be. And this is the circumstances they have to deal with. And that gives us a chance to open up our side and be like, nah, this is the real truth, this is our story, and this is how I go down.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel you.
Khalif, you wanted to say something?
The one that sticks out to me the most is where it says, like, no matter how self-aware you are, memoir wretches at your insides. And, like, when I first started at ConTextos, I didn't like writing at all. And I guess, like, the reason for that is when you write things down, you're able to see things from a different perspective, and it kind of, like, just brings the reality out to you. I like to think that I'm a certain way, but then when I write, I actually get to see what that is on paper. And then you kind of have like this certain bias, but when you write and you share it with people, you don't get that benefit of the doubt. Like, they're going to know you just off of what you wrote, and then they'll make their like decisions about you. And that's kind of like a thing, like just emotions wise, you write them down to kind of get a better sense of what do I want to say? Is this really how I want to respond? Do I want to take the time and edit this and stuff like that? But it's a excruciating process because you kind of go against, you know, this idea of yourself. All right, so this painting right here is called Unapologetic Growth. I kind of have this thing where I paint people inside plant pots because I want to create this parallel between humans and plants. You know, oftentimes, like, being a creative or honestly just being a person, you have goals that you want to reach or, you know, just personal growth that you want to get to, but those things don't happen overnight. The same way that plants don't bloom overnight. You know, you gotta water them, it has to go through its seasons, you have to prune them, which is like taking off the dead leaves, so that you can, you know, grow more. So I kind of like wanted to show the same process of like, you know, success doesn't happen overnight. You know, groom yourself, make sure that you're ready and open for success so that when the times come, you know, you'll be ready for it. So this piece kind of depicts a woman, you know, showing her unapologetic growth. You can see the plants are nice and green and the colors are popping because she's growing and she's welcoming that new success, and she's not sorry for it. She shouldn't be, because this is what she set herself up for. So that's kind of, you know, my idea of unapologetic growth.
Grandma, you took us out them row houses and them projects, I'm thankful for it. And all them hard times we had, wish I could pay you for it. And even though I never showed it, I'm still grateful for it. There's so many nights I done cried. I wish you was right here by my side. I look in the mirror, see your ass, and I know you've been hurt for a while. And I hate the fact you had to leave me. Who got my baby, this ain't easy. I finally made it on the TV. Ooh, how I wish that you could see me.
But mainly the circle is supposed to be a safe space and haven for us to participate and be in, as far as like expressing ourselves through the arts of writing or artwork in general, or through storytelling. And how they do that is they work with different groups like Guys in County, young group of guys on 95th, young group of guys out west, or in my case with my old job at the EMAN construction working program, it's like the MAFA program as well that I just started co-facilitating this year in, and that experience was like a new gang experience for me. But they've been working with MAFA prior to me coming on board. But it's like these different groups of like increments in the city that they're being a part of to like help them get the message out, like we have another solution, another way to not necessarily stop the gun violence, because violence will not stop, that just make the world flow, but to at least slow it down, or to find like contributing factors to help like throw like a little monkey wrench in between like certain things from happening. Not saying it's all preventable, but the work is basically for you to feel comfortable enough and vulnerable enough to have a connection and collaborate with other people to, you know, understand where everybody is coming from.
So the most exciting thing probably that happened to us during COVID is that we got this incredible building, that a visionary donor believed in us and saw the vision. And we spent 18 months, so even before the epidemic, looking. And the challenge we have, or one of the greatest challenges, you know, is we work all over the west side, all over the south side, in county, in the jail, which brings people from all over the county. And the individuals we work with often cannot move freely. They have ops, they have challenges. Their communities are very limiting themselves. And the amazing thing about where we are right now, is that it's the South Side. It's still Bronzeville, but it's where Bronzeville meets the South Loop. It's literally where, our economic wealth is meeting our economic need, where McCormick Place is meeting Chinatown. There's just nothing like it in Chicago. 4 blocks of Motor Row, which is also Record Row. And our young people can come here and see not only, something different in their city, but something different for themselves. It just reeks of creativity and opportunity. And so for the first time in ConTextos, we have a place where all of our authors from all over the city can come safely and meet.
2240 is a great space to me because it gives people, regular people on the South and West Side, a chance to express themselves and really tell their story. Yeah, and I think that's much needed, especially in the climate that we operate in today.
It's been crazy. Like, it's times in Circle where, I'll share a story that I actually haven't really shared with many people at all, just because I've kind of been like really vulnerable and just not open enough. And then I'll share this experience that I've had, and then it turns out that other people in the circle have had similar experiences. And then it's kind of like this confidence that we have to share and expound on things that we haven't touched on before. So I'm kind of like, I'm curious, have there been moments in you all circles where you share something and other people have kind of like, I've been through that too, like, and I haven't told anybody, but now that you have, I feel like I can share that and I can, own that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All right, so a lot of times in Circle 2, one thing that I've enjoyed and I've noticed over time is like, I share something that I'm completely ashamed of and not really confident enough to be open about amongst others. And lo and behold, it'll be somebody else that went through the same thing that I went through, and then it'll make me more comfortable and no longer ashamed, and it'll build my confidence of different things that I've went through.
Yeah, because even though we are all different, we go through the same things, and, something that you went through could have helped me, something I went through could have helped you, and, we can express that through writing.
So it was this time where I was facilitating a circle in CPS, actually, and it was kind of crazy because, like, on our first day, the students didn't want to open up at all. Like, we were talking majority of the time, and they were just listening because they didn't feel open enough to share certain things. And I had shared this story about, one time where I actually was coming home and someone had been shot in front of my home. And from there, when they seen how open I was to sharing these things that I had never shared before, they actually all went around the circle and was like, you know what, I don't feel comfortable walking home at night after school because I've had cousins, I have family that have been through similar situations. And I don't even tell my parents, I don't know how to express these things to show that I'm scared. And in that was the day like the circle just kind of opened up, and we just had this experience where, it was like a family in a sense. Like we had that confidence that we were open to being vulnerable because they realized that, even though you're a facilitator, I just met you a couple weeks ago, we're almost one and the same. You've been through the same things that I've been through that I haven't been able to share with anyone. Share with my teachers because they don't understand me, because they don't know my story, they don't know where I come from. But the fact that you've had that similar situation, I feel like I could trust you. And then from that day, we talked about everything because in sharing our stories, it allowed other people to share theirs, which they may not have shared with anyone ever.
Khalif, hearing what you're saying, the idea of trauma comes up so much in our work, particularly because of, who we work with and where we meet with them. And so, I'm wondering too, to follow up on your question, just, you guys have met facilitators who some, have the same sorts of lived experiences, and some are like me, like, how does this make sense? How does it help you as you're talking about telling and writing and presenting the experiences you've had?
Like, Deb, you mentioned trauma, and it's like, of course we face trauma because we are, young black men growing up in Chicago, but it's like when I'm here, I get to be my full self, and I get to share the positive side of my story just as well as if I wanted to share the negative side of my story as well. And I just like how I'm intrigued by her entrance and wanting to take a step into our worlds, and to me that's one of the best parts of the program.
My relationship to ConTextos is really important. They met me at a really, 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 really dark and very vulnerable time in my own life. And to go through the process of working with them and for them, and growing and being in the place where I'm at today has really given me a chance to appreciate the connection that's had, not only to ConTextos staff or the organization itself, but to the work that we do.
I am 20 years of age. I am lost. I don't know who I am, but I know who I want to become. I know I am a brother. I know I am a son. I know I am an educated 2015 high school graduate. And I know that I am a black male in America. I am a founding member of Chicago Cred. I have been to college and I have been to county. I want to support my family. I want to become a father. I want to have something no one can take away from me.
I do have one more question, right? So, when we started today, the reason we're doing this is because, pandemic. But when I think about the real pandemic in Chicago, it's not COVID. It's our growing violence and the issues, the reckoning that this city has to deal with. And so when we think about how big the problems are, I get overwhelmed. The solutions seem elusive. They seem difficult. Why, in this moment when things are so rough, does this kind of work, the work we're doing in ConTextos, why does it matter?
To me, it's more important than ever. You've got people whose lives have been traumatized. They're not getting public interaction. Maybe they're reading, but writing still needs to happen. People have to have their own experiences and share them. And now as the pandemic's winding down, people are vaccinated, it's time to get back to living and having experiences and writing them. That's how I see it, at least. I don't know.
Piggybacking on what Dave was saying with COVID and everything, we all been in kind of like isolation. And, we are not made to be alone. We are made to interact and be with each other and share things. And memoir writing and reading memoirs is a way to do this, because not only do we get to read somebody else's thoughts, experiences, and feelings, we get to compare them with our own and build on that.
I actually joined ConTextos during the pandemic. And as an artist, I just felt like my work wasn't reaching real people or those that I felt like would benefit the most from, kind of seeing what I have to put out into the world. It was kind of like this fulfillment that I wasn't getting by just posting online. And ConTextos gave me the opportunity to share that with, people that looked like me, younger people that I feel like just kind of needed guidance and a way to express themselves, whether that's through writing or through art. So when I was able to join the circle at Inglewood STEM, as an artist, but then also as a person that could, kind of bring ideas to life outside of writing, was just a different thing that I wasn't getting. So I'm curious as to those that joined ConTextos before the pandemic. What was that experience like for you, and what keeps you coming back today?
For me, I know ConTextos for about 4 years now. A lot of things have changed since then. Something that just keeps me coming back to ConTextos is that they always make me feel like my stories matter, and my story never ends yet.
I've known ConTextos for about 4 years. I think going on 5, but 4 for sure. And something that keeps me around is the support that they've shared with me throughout the years. So I try to support them in any way that I can with my presence or my story, however they would need it,
I'm still with ConTextos for 2 reasons. Mainly because they provided work for me as an artist, and B, because the work is just real, It's real, and I enjoy working with things and working with people that have substance. And you can't get that from an average, 9 to 5, or even any of the freelance stuff that I'd usually do myself.
For me, being that I've known ConTextos for 3.5 going on 4 years now, what keeps me coming back is the atmosphere and the work. It's a great atmosphere, and the work that they do is something different than what the average norm is for most jobs and for what most people in careers and choices that they choose to do. And the work that they do is unique, and it has its own form of creativity, and people enjoy the work that we do. We also help change lives with people. I've seen it for myself, as far as me being a facilitator. So it's the expansion as far as the reach that ConTextos reach is astonishing.
My sisters are instantly hysterical, tears flowing and sobbing dejectedly. I stood in shock, smelling burnt fuel, and exhaust for but a moment as my mom shouted forgotten insults towards this faceless death machine as it rumbled into memory in a black cloud of smoke and death. To calm my sisters, I rattled off some of the same kind of birdies in heaven now kind of talk people half-heartedly had been telling me. In an effort to calm my sisters, I realized everyone was full of shit. My words fell hollow. I wished I was like He-Man and could have saved the day. Instead, I helplessly told my sisters about birdie heaven. I'm probably the only one alive who remembers this pointless bird murder. The arbitrary nature of it really stuck with me. I was sickened. That was probably the day the little kid me died, mowed down with that baby robin. The smell of asphalt and gasoline and exhaust was what the world was made of. Kids and baby birds are just things that got ran over from time to time and of no great importance. Moms and dads try their best to prevent life from running them down, but in the end it's random chance that decides. All parents can do is try and give their kids better odds. My poor mom crapped out is all. Just like that baby robin's mother. Her babies were stuck in the road of life. I realized that day the good guys don't always win, and the villains often ride away scot-free. I knew it was up to me to see to it that my sisters didn't end up like the birdie. After all, my dad left me the man of the house.
I recently spent 7 years inside the Cook County Jail, well, 7 years and 4 months, for a murder I didn't commit. And when I got out, I was still seeking the comfort and space that I found inside there with the ConTextos program, outside here on the streets of Chicago. And I didn't know that they still continue to work with artists after they're released. And when I found out, when Lisa called me and was like, do I want to still be a part of Author Circle, I was ecstatic. She didn't know how happy that made me to just be able to come to this space and express myself and share things and, talk to other people. So, ConTextos is a really good program.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And if anything resonated for you, or if any point over these last 18 months or in the near future you have had questions and wondered what is going on in Chicago, I encourage you to start with the stories. Thank you again. I hope you will donate to support our work at ConTextos. Your money will help transform 2240 South Michigan into a real center for healing and reflection for those who bear the greatest burdens of our city. More than anything, your donations go to uplift and support our authors, our artists, and our authors' circles. And so I have to also remember to say thank you to our incredible staff and our board, and of course all of you who have supported us over all these years. So thank you again, and please donate to continue to support our work.
Shout out to Deb for facilitating an amazing circle.
Oh,
Shout out to Dion.
We all got problems that we deal with. We all fight battles we can steal, so let it go and just grow. Let it go and just grow.